Good evening, everyone, friends here on Facebook and YouTube, and welcome to Talk About It Tuesday. How's it going, Eric?
It's going.
Did you look up to see our National Day today?
No, while we were out.
We forgot. All right. Well, my name is Georgianne, and this is my friend Eric, as I already said. And we are your hosts for this evening. We meet here every Tuesday evening to have sort of an interactive discussion about what we have been talking about in the message from Sunday. And this is not meant to be like a whole other sermon. We're just sort of recapping and kind of unpacking any questions. What is it?
Happy National Cherry Cobbler Day.
Cherry cobbler.
Amen.
We should make that.
That
You're
sounds
making
good.
for Taylor for dessert tonight.
That sounds really good.
Go make cherry cobbler.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we have been in our series, How to Be Not Okay, and we've been in this continual discussion of whether it's how to not be okay, how to be not okay. Either way, the idea is the same, really.
That you're not okay.
Yes. And, we're just talking about how we deal with periods of lament. And, we've kind of touched on it before that, like, that word lament isn't really a word that we use very often anymore. It's just this idea of deep, deep sorrow and grief and sadness and how we deal with that within our relationship to God. So I mentioned to you earlier that this weekend was kind of a juxtaposition in emotions, because on Saturday we had our ladies the IF gathering, and it was also kind of a little bit heavy, but it was also a joyful time for all of us to meet together after a couple of years of not having that IF gathering. And then we had, the message on Sunday, and then following the message, we had early dedication, which is the time that families come and dedicate their kids to the Lord. And so it was like this deep, heavy message sandwiched between some like higher moments. And so it was like a little bit of ups and downs. But kind of like, isn't that how our relationship with God can be too?
Yeah. That's life.
I know, you're just going along in life and then bam, something crazy happens. You like lose your job, you total a car, you, find out some bad health news. Like, that's the way life is. And so the big idea from this week was give God your grief first. And what do you think are some very practical ways that we need to apply that in our lives?
I think it sounds so simple, but just getting to the place of, and a lot of times life just takes you to that place.
Yeah.
Of being like, well, I'm at the end of my rope. I can't go any farther. It is what it is. Like, yeah. I think, again, that's just realizing our own capabilities, that we can't do it. We can't do it on our own. We talk a lot about community, but above that, it's like, I can't do it without you, God.
Yeah.
And
I would say
that's where Lamentations takes them, is dwelling back on that concept of this love, this God whose love is everlasting.
Yeah.
And just being able to give it to him even when it seems like he's not listening.
I would say if you are a parent, which I know you're not yet, if you're a parent, you have a very real sense of not being, able or equipped to really handle everything that your kids need. And I think about that often, and like just realizing I wasn't meant to do that on my own without God. And so I am so guilty. I know we've all been guilty of like, I hate the way this sounds coming out of my mouth, but like of God as an afterthought, of being like, okay, I have to tell Jack, I have to tell my friends, I got to tell, this person, that person, I got to make a social media post about it before I go to the Lord in prayer. When I finally do that, I receive the answer that I need, which is that I am with you and I have plenty of mercy for you every day. Yeah. We had a Facebook post this past week talking about like how to show up for your friends when they're grieving. And one common thing that I saw was like people just saying like, show up, just be there, like just go sit with them, listen, text, whatever. But I was wondering, a perspective from an introvert, what if somebody actually wants to be alone?
Yeah, that's how I think it will depend on every different person. Everybody has their own needs, of course. I think if I'm just sad, I want somebody, a person, but if it's more on the side of anger, I do like to be alone. And it's just allowing people to have that space, especially if, like me, I'm a inward processor. Like I need that space to deal with this sort of stuff. It's like your presence isn't helpful at that point. So I think
how far do you push it, right?
I think if somebody's in pain, it should be someone who is in a deep relationship with them coming.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
As a Christian, yes, you have a responsibility to check on all people and like be there for them. But in terms of like deeply being there with them, I think you go to them, but if they need space, you give them space.
Yeah.
I would say, if you're in that deep relationship, say, okay, but you have to promise me as soon as you're ready, you'll come to me. And then make them make the initiation back.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think like, people that are not from New England, we often talk about how like New Englanders are so like, I got this, I'm, a strong person, I'm independent, I'm going to do it on my own. And so I think, there's wisdom in what you just said, because if you are in a deep relationship with that person, you probably know their personality well enough to be able to accept when they say like, no, I need some time. Yeah.
And in that relationship, like if somebody said, okay, but you need to promise me to come when you're ready on our relationship, I know that's right. That I should come, that you're obviously the more clear thinking person in this moment, and I need help, and I know I'm in denial about needing help.
Yeah.
So just give me the space to get to the point where we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's good. So we have a couple more weeks in this series, right? That was chapter 3, so we have 4 and 5, I think, to go. Right? Is it 5 chapters or 6? I think it's 5. But if you missed the message from if you missed the message from this past Sunday, you can catch that on Facebook or YouTube. You can also, when you go there, see the beautiful early dedication that we did. And we are going to meet here next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Are you going to be here next week? Getting close to wedding day.
I will be here.
All right. I put you on the spot. Sorry. Okay, so I know. So we meet here every Tuesday on Facebook and YouTube. You can feel free to chime in with any comments. You can message us personally, or you can message the Movement Facebook page. We'll be glad to have a discussion with you. And Eric, is on our discipleship team, and so he loves to do the deep dive. So if you have any real serious questions, feel free to reach out. He'll be able to help you, and follow us and subscribe on YouTube. Move 603 on YouTube. All right, have a great week.
See you.